This is OTMA! Quick Memory Genesis Video 3, Chapters 21 through 27!
Welcome to Genesis Video 3, Chapters 21 through 27. As you can see, we've divided the book of Genesis into 5 sections. The first section is about the beginning of the world, sometimes referred to as the primordial history. The following 4 sections are about a man named Abraham and his descendants Isaac, Jacob, and Joseph. This video is focused on the 3rd section, the life of Isaac, Abraham's son. Let's begin.
Chapter 21. Sarah gives birth to her promised son, Isaac, who apparently looked like a robot? Pretty sure this is historically inaccurate. Anyway, then she sends Hagar and Ishmael into the desert. Remember Hagar and Ishmael from chapter 16? And Abraham makes a covenant with our old friend Abimelech from chapter 20. Chapter 22. What do you do? Well, if you're Abraham, then you attempt to sacrifice your son Isaac to God on an altar. And if you're God, then you offer Abraham a ram with the crown of its head stuck in some thorns instead. And that's what you do in chapter 22, if you're one of those guys. Chapter 23. Sarah dies. So, Abraham goes to buy a tomb from the Hittites, and they're like, sure, you can even have the best cave for free because you're cool. And Abraham's like, no, I'll pay full price. So he pays 400 shekels of silver. That's a lot. Chapter 24. Isaac mourns over the loss of his mother Sarah. So Abraham sends his servant back to Chaldea, where they're from, to find a wife for Isaac. And then Isaac marries the beautiful Rebekah. Chapter 25. Staying alive. Unless you're Abraham, because this is where he dies. And then there's a bunch of drama between Isaac's twin sons, Jacob and Esau, where Jacob tricks Esau, the older brother, into giving him the inheritance of the older son. Chapter 26. God makes the same promise to Isaac as he made to Abraham in chapter 15. And then in chapter 26, Isaac tricks Abimelech into thinking Rebekah is not his wife. Now, this is the same trick that Abraham played on Abimelech in chapter 20. And it's the same crazy trick that Abraham played on Pharaoh in chapter 12. Some weird stuff going on here, to be honest. Chapter 27. Jacob pretends to be his older brother Esau, so that their dad Isaac will give the fatherly blessing to Jacob instead of Esau. So in chapter 25, Jacob tricks Esau into selling him the inheritance, and in chapter 27, Jacob tricks his father Isaac into giving him the blessing of the oldest son as well. So Jacob has Esau's inheritance and his blessing. And that's all for our brief synopsis of chapters 21 through 27. Watch more to learn more, and tell all your friends at work to subscribe. See you next time.
This has been OTMA! Genesis chapters 21 through 20.